Phalaenzias, there is nothing cooler than that. I mean, this looks like something either from under the sea or in outer space. You know, I've never had one that big. I want one really bad. See, that's the problem with house plants and all plants. As soon as you see one way cooler than any one you ever had, you've got to have it, you know.
How did you get to into gardening? What got you here?
Well, I was really a lucky kid in that I got to garden with my grandma. Maud O'Hara, by the way, is her name, even though she married Waldo Reichart. If you called her Maud Reichart, she'd chase you with a broom. That's why I'm skinny to this day. I never really understood why that was, but I got to garden with her and my mom. And both of them were really cool people that loved gardening and made it fun for me. So then when I was 10 years old, they started putting up ads on the local telephone poles looking for an assistant gardener. And so I went in the house. It was for this church down the street. I didn't even go to this church. I went in the house. I told my mom, my grandma, I said, I'm going to go get that job, you know. And they went, oh, Ciscoe, that's so cool. Go get that job. They weren't looking for a 10-year-old kid. They were looking for an adult, you know. So I went down there. The fifth time I harassed this poor priest in charge of hiring. The guy, it's the first time I ever heard a priest swear. He's like, all right, you little son of a blah, blah, blah. You've got the job now. Get out of this office. Don't ever come in again. And when I come swaggering in and told the poor caretaker that was his new assistant gardener, it's the first time I saw a grown man cry, you know. So, but the thing was, old Joe at the church wouldn't even talk to me for 3 weeks. But when he started teaching me gardening, something happened to him in World War II. He would not touch poisons. And that guy taught me so many wonderful ways to garden where you didn't have to use pesticide. Wonderful tricks that I use today that have helped me become a much better gardener. Check this out. So these are all plant-eating or bug-eating plants, you know. So, and I grow these at home. I can actually grow them outdoors in Washington, and you know, and as long as I've got the pot they're in the ground, and I've got a kind of a special soil mix of 50-50 perlite and peat moss. Okay. And then what I do is I just keep it really moist, but you put a hole in the pot so the water comes out a quarter of the way down, so the top never is full of water, because that'll kill it. Because it's got to be exactly the same as a bog is, and that's bog condition. But what's so cool about this is you watch yellow jackets and flies, and they walk up the plant, you know, there's a narcotic on there. And the fly, all of a sudden you see the fly going, wow, man, cool, hey, man. And then in they go, you know, and there's all these little hairs. Once they go in, there's no turning back. It doesn't pay to have bad habits. But, you know, little kids come over to my house, and I'll open one of these up, and they're cram-packed with flies and yellow jackets. And kids are just like, whoa!
It really works.
It really works. These things catch them all the time. You know, in here, it probably doesn't have many in there. I had a pretty good cactus collection. I had them all over our picnic table that we had at the time. And Mary came out the door. She goes, you know, we got company coming. I got to set up that table. She goes, you know, you got way too many of these cactus things. She goes, I think you should get rid of half of them. I said, hey, I love every one. I can't get rid of one of these, you know. So she went back in the house. Just then I hear my neighbor shout over the fence. He goes, he hadn't heard any of this. He goes, Ciscoe, come on over. I come over and he goes, you know, I'm moving. I go, yeah, I'm really sorry you're moving. He goes, well, I got this huge cactus collection. I can't take it with me. Here he comes out a half hour later. It's like 4 times more cactus than there were when she first looked out there. So all I can say is watch what you say. You never know what'll happen. So this, you know, it's a simple plant, Spathiphyllum. One of the things I love about it is that it will give you flowers in the darkest spot in your house. And there are not many plants that do that, you know, and it's hard to find plants that can live with low light. Of course, they really thrive. You give them a little more indirect light, but they'll survive and even bloom, you know, and they're in that arum family and have beautiful flowers. But you know why I love this plant, why I grow it in my house? Because it droops when it needs to drink water. You don't want to overwater your plants in the wintertime, and it's so easy to do. So what I do is I just wait for this guy to droop. It doesn't hurt it a bit. I give it a nice drink of water, it bursts back up into life, and now I know it's time to give the rest of my plants a drink of water. This guy is the hero to all my plants because they're waiting for him to droop before they can have a drink. Okay, here's what I got to say to people who are just getting into gardening and maybe want to get in more. Don't listen to those people that tell you don't buy a plant unless you've got a spot for it. That is going to be the most boring garden on earth. Every time you see a plant that you like, buy it. Now, you don't want to try and landscape your whole garden in one shot, because if you do that, you're going to overwhelm yourself. You won't get one weeded while another one's becoming a mess. So start with a spot that people are going to see. Do that one. Just keep bringing in plants. If you don't like a plant, have no mercy. That baby's out. You'll find somebody that wants it, you know. Just keep buying plants, learning about that plant, because you know how you learn to garden? It's by doing, not by reading books, you know. Books will help, but doing it is what's fun. And pretty soon, I guarantee this, you will be hooked. Make sure you plant a lot of perennials, a lot of rare and unusual things that they say right on the sticker, don't buy this, it's going to die in the wintertime. Try, see if it'll live. No one knows how hardy a lot of plants are. In no time at all, you will be so hooked on gardening, it's unbelievable. You'll be poor, but you'll be happy.